How many FAQs do you think are appropriate for someone who's just starting their website? Do you think 5 or 10's all right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, I would start with, I mean, just think of the five most, and even if you're not sure, just think what would be likely questions that people might have.
Awesome.
It could be, what's the best way to contact me? What's what should I expect, you know, for you for your Spanish speaking classes, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, what should I expect in a session? What does the session look like? How long does it last? Just super
Those are
basic.
actually better than some of the ones I had.
Super,
Awesome.
yeah, super basic to start with. And then you'll build
Okay.
out from there, because as you start interacting with more people, you'll start getting more questions. And you have to
There,
go, oh, someone
there'll
asked me
be
a
more of
question.
those.
I should remember that and add that to my FAQs.
Peter, could you give me some examples with my type of business, what the FAQ page would include? What questions would it include?
So when someone hires you, tell me more about what you're actually doing for them.
What I would be doing is either a speaking engagement to professionals or a nonprofit agency,
Okay.
or it might be to students at graduate students at a university.
Okay.
But if it's not at a university, it would more than likely, be at a conference or some kind of a nonprofit agency.
Sure.
And most of the time it would be for CDs. Sometimes it would not be.
Okay. Yeah. So your questions then are going to be around, how do you book a speaking session with me or a training session with me?
Okay. So logistics.
Yeah. Do logistics. So that's a piece of it. Is this training, do you get CE credits for the training that I provide?
Okay.
So maybe yes, maybe no, right? There could be some variables there. Yeah, anything around that, and in the speaking piece of it, logistics, what can you expect during one of my training sessions? And you can talk a little bit about how you actually operate the training session and what does it look like? Is it interactive? Is it
that's a good one.
Is it engaging? How engaging is my session? Things like that.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you're speaking about this back page is something that you definitely feel should be on every website.
Yep.
Kind of tagging on to that, how many pages or do you feel is a good average to have on a website, or what pages do you think are crucial besides this fact page and of course the home page?
Yeah. So for me, the most fundamental, obviously, you have a home page on the site.
Mm-hmm.
I think you definitely should have an about page that kind of goes a little bit deeper. You can talk about your vision, your mission. You can talk about yourself. You can talk about your team.
Right.
In the background, that can be something even a little more fun, a little more, not, it doesn't have to be a stuffy thing. It's not necessarily, here's a resume of everything that I've done, but, it can be more personal. As well. So, you're kind of telling a little more about the story of you and how you got to where you're at and why you do what you do.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think that's an important page. And then, obviously a contact page. I think you should have a reviews or testimonials page.
Mm-hmm.
So every time that you speak, anytime you're doing training, like whatever it is, and you're getting feedback, you're always getting feedback on that. And then all that should always go to your website.
Okay.
Um,
What about the service page?
so then
And
your
like for me,
services, absolutely. So that could vary.
I've got all of these invited past presentations that I've done. Should I put that somewhere so people know that I have done this before?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and you'll see a lot, anybody that is speaking and training, they'll have, examples of training examples or speaking examples, so that they can go back and look. So whether that's videos or topics or who have you done it for, right? So
Right.
these are services that we've done. So a lot of times we'll add some of that. That can go on an about page. It can even go on a home page.
Okay.
Where we'll put, let's see, I feel like, so like for, just this client even, we talk about their partners in the community. They're part of the Alzheimer's Association, the Colorado Assisted Living Association, these different groups. So, a lot of times we'll show these are who we've worked with before, and go and actually grab their logos and put their logos on there so you can see these are some of the folks that we've worked with before.
Okay. All right.
But you can go into more detail, on, as a part of your services pages. So here's this thing, and then here's all the other places we've done this thing.
Okay.
So that they can see that, oh, like they do this a lot. They actually know what they're talking about.
Okay, thank you.
So, so those really are the core of, that kind of foundational. So home, about page, reviews, testimonials, contact page, what are the services we actually offer? Those really become the foundational. And then you can always add more. But for me, those are the most foundational that you should have.
Okay. All right. Great.
The
Emily,
other,
I have more questions, but I don't want to hog it. So, do you have more?
Emily, you have some other questions?
I do have a couple more brief ones.
Go for it.
This doesn't quite relate to FAQs, but to email lists.
Yeah, email.
I have 2 things that I'd be willing to give for free to my prospects in exchange for their email address.
Right.
The only difference is one is a 5-page lesson, and it's an actual thing like they would see in class, and one is a 1-page reference handout. Do prospects want to more generally see the pithy short version, or do they want a little more in-depth version so they know what they're going to be paying for later?
I would say you may need to test that.
Okay, just kind of do that in the field.
So I would think a little bit about it in terms of, think of the problem that this helps solve. Is this a quicker problem that it's going to solve that satisfies a quick need for them? Like, what are the top 10 Spanish words that you should know, or whatever it is, right?
Right.
And, or is the lesson plan, here's what a first lesson looks like. So you also have to think about it in terms of how can I qualify this person better for my lessons. So you're probably better off having them see the lesson one, but what you have to address is what's the problem and how does this solve that problem, even just on a little tiny thing.
Okay. So do some testing with each of them and maybe say, okay, join this list if you want to like fully immerse yourself and learn the language over time, and I'll send you the 5-page lesson. Join the quick tip list and I'll give you like a 1-page.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes those things you got to test a little bit and see what your audience better engages with.
To see which ones,
Yeah.
Okay, Peter, my next question is more of a logistic question.
Sure.
I was starting to think, since I've been accepted as this national speaker at this conference, I'd like to, I've already put that on LinkedIn, but if I put that on my website, should it be on my homepage, or should I create another page that says something like news and updates, or should I just somehow insert it on my homepage?
So there's a couple ways to do that. I think I would have something on my homepage.
Okay.
And I was going to mention about, your quote unquote blog. A blog can be used a lot of different ways, which one of those is as kind of a news and information. Right. So you can just post, hey, I've got this event coming up, and now you have that page from your website that you can share out on all your socials and all that. So you're driving traffic back to your website related to that. But yeah, I would definitely, I would talk that up a lot, and I would plan on getting some video of that at the event. I would plan on getting testimonials while you're there. Mm-hmm. Like I would absolutely make the most of what you can with that opportunity. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And that brings up a question about blogs, because I was thinking of starting one, but then I wanted your opinion on blogs versus podcasts. Podcasts seem to be a lot more involved. You need more equipment for it. How effective are the two in comparing, and when is a good time to start a blog? Like anytime now, or?
Well, this would be really good for me to hear too.
Oh, good, Emily.
So the blog, I would start immediately. And I'll tell you the way I do it. You can kind of decide what works best for you. What I found was I really struggle with writing blogs. But I'm typically more about, I want to, I do a lot of speaking. So I want to organize my thoughts as if I was going to speak to somebody. And so it's really easy for me to do like a 5 to 7 minute video. And usually, a lot of times I don't need an outline at all, just to talk about whatever. But I can write a quick outline and then do a video. And now I have a video, and I'll post that to YouTube, but I'll get that transcribed. Then there's a website called rev.com, rev.com. And it will
RUV.com?
REV.
Okay.
.com. Oh, rev, like don't rev your engine so fast.
Yes, like. And so with that, it's $1 a minute. They'll transcribe the video. So for a 5 to 7 minute video, it costs me $5 to $7 to get it transcribed. And I take that transcription and the video. So I take the video from YouTube, I embed that in the blog post, and then I take that transcription, and that's the text of the blog post. So that really is it's different than writing it because it's conversational. Versus, a super well-written blog post.
Now, if I need to conserve money, like I do right now, just putting the written word in there in the blog is better than nothing, or how do you feel about that?
Well, you can write it out, but I would still make the video because the video doesn't cost you anything.
Okay. All right.
So I either do the video with my phone and make the video. I use my webcam. Mm-hmm. So I bought a little better webcam. It's not just a cheap one in my laptop, right? I bought a little bit better. I paid $60 for it or something.
Yeah.
And I'll use the webcam. I'll do a screen share. So like I'm doing with you guys right now on Zoom, I'm sharing my screen and I'm recording this. And I can share anything on my screen. You can actually do that with the free version of Zoom. You can record your screen and make a video.
Okay.
It doesn't cost you anything.
And Zoom's awesome.
Yeah. So that becomes the blog post, and now I'm not worried about writing. And my frequency that I'm very consistent with is once a month. I decided, 2.5 years ago, that I'm going to do one per month, and I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to make sure I'm consistent at doing that.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me, because
That sounds really doable.
as far as a once a month type of thing. And I do have one 2-minute video on my website already.
Great.
So I can do that. But you're saying that if you do the video, it might also be a good idea to either transcribe or also put it on a blog, no matter how I choose to do it.
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
Yep, and video can be used everywhere. That can become social content. Now you're posting a link from your blog post to LinkedIn, and that's driving people back to your website. They can watch the video, or they can read it. They can consume it in the way that works for them.
Okay.
You can.
Because right now, on YouTube, I have it. The video that I have done, I have it on private mode.
Yeah.
So you're thinking that I should put it on public mode?
Well, it depends on what the video is, but yeah, in general, all my videos on YouTube are where people can see them. So you can also do a video as unlisted. So if for some reason, it's so specific to a page on my website that it doesn't really make sense to be on YouTube where people can see it, I'll mark it as unlisted.
Yeah.
So that they don't necessarily see it on YouTube. But and I create playlists. So I have my monthly marketing message. Review Me Marketing is a separate, that's one of our services. So all the videos for that. Our assisted living marketing videos, just all that you can break into different categories depending on what the video content is.
I see.
And have those there. So, but yeah, if it's strictly something that's talking about something just on your website, then you can mark those unlisted, but they can still play on your website.
Okay.
But like all the blog posts, this is kind of our monthly marketing message. It's our blog post. We send out the email and say, here's our latest blog post. But that video goes on YouTube as well. So that video's there. And then we link the video. In the video comments, we link back to our website to the blog post. So if they want to get the transcription, they can come back to our website to get that.
Oh, I see. It's in the comment section. Okay, yeah. I see. Okay.
I have a question that ties into kind of both of your last two. And ma'am, I apologize, but I didn't catch your name at the beginning.
That's okay. It's Joyce.
Joyce, lovely to meet you. So Peter, I've got a couple questions I've got a question that ties into Joyce's last couple questions. I have a conference in November out in Columbus where I will be teaching people basically how to use assistive screen reading software for folks who are blind with learning Spanish. And I wonder, I should probably get video of that there. Should I put that session up on my website when I get back?
I would, and you could do it a lot of different ways. So you can do it as an example of other services that you have. It could be a blog post. Like social. I mean, you can use that a lot of different ways.
Awesome. So yeah, I'll definitely make sure to get video footage of that.
Yeah, no, you totally should.
Yeah.
My mom's coming along to get some continuing education unit, so I might just say, hey, can you video my session?
Yeah, see, that's part of my business, Emily, is for people to get continuing education credit. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, yeah, because I mean, like, I wanted someone to video my session. I mean, it's an hour speaking engagement, so that's pretty long. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm definitely thinking of all of that, Peter, because I need to make the most of that and decide what I want to do and what I want to spend money on, and
Yeah.
you know, how I want to make the most of that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big opportunity. So yeah, you want to capitalize on it for what it can do for you for the future.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there anything that I should focus on putting into my session that might be like flags that people would look for? Oh, she's talking about this. Let's look at that.
I wouldn't worry too much about that. I mean, just do the thing that you do.
Okay.
And, you know, so there's a very specific audience that's interested in what you have and what you're doing with that. And, you know, you just do what you do. You're good at it. You know what you need to do, and you know how to teach them how to do it. So all that's going to come through. So, you know, so much of what we do, you know, we think there's a secret formula to it, and most of the time there's not. You know, everybody, we kind of develop these skills, and we develop from our gifts and our talents, and we have this thing that just happens when we interact with people. That's really more of the magic than anything.
There's no recipe. There's no, okay, keywords here.
No, don't worry about that. Think about how can I provide the best service and the best value, and make sure that who I'm working with is getting what they need out of it. And all of the rest of that takes care of itself.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I have so much agreement on that, Peter, as far as, you know, the interaction. It's when the magic starts to happen.
Mhm.
And that's why I love having interactive type of speaking or training engagements. You
Yep.
know, instead of getting up there and blah, 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 blah. That's part of what I think I do well, but people don't know that yet.
Right. Right. Well, and it's really, I mean, it's about the transformation, right? There's this change that happens, and so that's what we're after in a lot of what we do. And if you're documenting the transformation, you know, people can see that, and that's going to engage them, and they're going to be the thing that they're looking for. So, but that's where a lot of the testimonials and video, you know, reviews come in afterwards. Like, how did this impact you? How is this going to change how you operate in the future?
Yeah. How is this going to help me?
Yeah.
What are the future? Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
Really good stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm working on making sure that my website is as simple and direct as possible now, instead of,
I'm with you there.
the StoryBrand book says, instead of a lot of noise, because right now I have a lot of noise on it. So what I'm thinking of doing, like under services, is just bullet pointing it instead of describing everything in great detail. Because what I've learned so far is that people's attention span is short on websites. And they're not going to look very far unless you do something like that. So, you know, I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but I guess it's just kind of hit and miss. I just have to keep kind of paring it down, right?
Yeah. Yep. Just edit to the most essential.
Okay.
And what I need to do is I just need to put in more hours on learning WordPress itself.
Yeah, WordPress is a beast.
I keep doing it little by little, but it's definitely not mastered yet.
Well, if you're a digital native, Emily, then you have a lot more savviness for it than I do. That's why I did not choose WordPress. I'm on Squarespace because I consulted with one of my millennial kids, and they said, Mom, don't do WordPress, do Squarespace.
Is Squarespace a lot more intuitive?
Very.
What do you think, Peter?
Oh, I think Squarespace for a novice is far better, far easier than WordPress, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if I'd have to break my hosting contract in order to switch.
Well, I mean, it depends on how comfortable you are with it so far. I mean, if you've already gotten into using it and you feel comfortable and you think
I
that you can continue, then you should stay with it. But otherwise, you know, I mean, I did a lot of research before I chose, but my needs are different than yours.
True. Yeah, I mean, now that I'm already kind of started learning it, I definitely want to get it mastered at some point.
Well, I don't know that you can master it, but you can you can at least learn enough to, you know, navigate and get done what you need to get done.
You can be fluent in it, kind of like Spanish. I may not know every
Like
word,
really
but I can have a conversation.
Really broken Spanish. Yeah, you can have a basic conversation, that would be good enough.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's so many different modules you have to go through to learn the thing.
Yeah, there's a lot. Most of it's not that important for what you need. So I would just say don't get too distracted by trying to learn things that aren't going to be important. Like figure out, you know, what's going to make it so that the information shows up on a page so someone can look at it.
Okay.
That's all that matters. Everything
Right.
else.
That's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything else you don't need to worry about. You don't need to know.
Okay.
Because again, people's attention span are so short and they just want to get on there and say, you know, okay, what is this? Do I need it? Is it going to help me? And from what I hear, like what, Peter, within 5 to 15 seconds, people say yeah or no, and they get off the page.
Yep.
So you don't have to worry about, you know, so much of exactly what you're putting on it, you know, exactly what it looks like. You know, people don't want pretty pages. They want the information and they want it quick.
True. That's why headings are like a godsend.
Yeah.
Mhm.